The invitation was elegant, scripted on heavy cream cardstock, but it felt more like a summons. An evening of whimsical theater, it read. Your attendance is required. Costume provided. Be ready at 7. It was from my dear and utterly unpredictable friend Arthur, known for his extravagant parties and his belief that everyone had a hidden talent for drama. There was no refusing him. At precisely 7, my doorbell chimed. I opened it to find not Arthur, but a harried-looking woman with a tape measure around her neck and a garment bag draped over her arm. "I'm Beatrice," she announced, bustling past me. "We have precisely 1 hour. Arthur sends his regards and his strictest instructions." Before I could protest, she had the garment bag unzipped, revealing its contents. My jaw dropped. It was a maid's uniform, but unlike any I had ever seen. It was not demure or practical. This was a confection of black satin and frothy white lace. The dress was short, with a fitted bodice and a scandalously full, petticoated skirt. A pristine white apron, more decorative than functional, was covered in intricate embroidery. Completing the ensemble were sheer black stockings, heels that looked both delicate and deadly, and a delicate lace headpiece. "Arthur has lost his mind," I managed to say. "Arthur is a visionary," Beatrice corrected, her hands on her hips. "Now strip. The clock is ticking." What followed was the most surreal and efficient hour of my life. Beatrice was less a stylist and more a drill sergeant of decorum. She had me shave with a precision I didn't know I possessed, then smoothed the lotion over my skin that left it smelling of fresh lemon and feeling unnervingly soft. Then came the underwear, silk and lace that felt alien and shockingly luxurious against my skin. The stockings were rolled up with ceremonial care and clipped to a garter belt. Each click felt like a point of no return. The main event was the dress. I stepped into the petticoats, their stiff tulle rustling like a flock of startled birds. Then the dress itself. Beatrice pulled the satin bodice tight, lacing me in with a firm, practiced hand. I could barely breathe. The waist felt cinched, the skirt a buoyant cloud around my hips. She fastened the absurdly frilly apron at my back. "Now for the face," she declared, pushing me into a chair. "We can't have you scaring the guests." She worked with the speed and skill of a master painter. Foundation evened out my complexion, a touch of blush brought life to my cheeks. She defined my eyes with a clever line of eyeliner and a coat of mascara, making them seem wider, more expressive. Finally, she applied a slick of rosy lip gloss. "The crowning glory," she said, placing the lace headpiece atop my head and securing it with a pin. Then she produced the final piece, a pair of classic French-made heels. "Walk," she commanded. My first steps were a comedy of errors. I wobbled, I teetered, the petticoats swishing with a life of their own. Beatrice sighed dramatically. "No, no, no, you are not a newborn giraffe. You are Fifi, the enigmatic and efficient maid from Paris. Glide. Imagine you are floating on a cloud of your own superiority." I tried again, focusing on the click of the heels, the sway of the skirt. Slowly, a strange rhythm emerged. The costume began to feel less like a prison and more like a powerful, if ridiculous, suit of armor. The doorbell rang again. It was Arthur, resplendent in a tuxedo. He took one look at me, clasped his hands together, and beamed. Magnifique. Absolutely perfect. The embodiment of chic servitude. "Now come along, Fifi. The champagne won't serve itself." His evening of whimsical theater was in fact a full-blown murder mystery party held in his sprawling penthouse. I was not a guest. I was part of the set dressing. My role was to circulate with trays of canapés and flutes of champagne, offering cryptic scripted clues in a terrible French accent. At first, it was sheer terror. I moved through the crowd of glamorously dressed guests, my cheeks burning. But then something shifted. A distinguished older gentleman winked at me as he took a glass. "Love the accent, darling," he whispered. A woman in a glittering gown complimented my flawless posture. The scripted lines started to land. I'd whisper, "Perhaps the Colonel did not die of a broken art, but a broken cocktail shaker," and get a delighted laugh in return. I began to lean into the persona. My walk became more of a strut. My tray-holding arm gained a graceful curve. I developed a sassy little hip check to open swinging kitchen doors. The climax of the evening arrived during the big reveal. As the detective accused the butler, a crucial piece of evidence was needed: the missing diamond necklace. According to Arthur's script, it was my moment. All eyes turned to me. I curtsied, the petticoats bouncing dramatically. I reached into my apron pocket, produced the gaudy prop necklace, and declared in my over-the-top accent, "But of course, Monsieur le Detective, I found it this morning caught in the garbage disposal. A tragedy for such a beautiful piece, no?" The room erupted in applause and laughter. I was no longer just a man in a maid's uniform. I was Fifi, the scene-stealing star of the show. For the rest of the night, guests sought me out for photos. I found myself laughing genuinely, flipping the hem of my apron, playing the part to the hilt. When the last guest had departed, Arthur found me leaning against the kitchen counter, finally kicking off the torturous heels. "Well," he asked, pouring 2 glasses of whiskey and handing one to me, "how was your theatrical debut?" I looked down at the rumpled satin dress, the smudged lip gloss, and the lopsided headpiece. I was exhausted, my feet ached, and I had never felt more brilliantly, bizarrely alive. "It was sensational," I said, a real, unforced smile spreading across my face. "When's the next performance?" Arthur clinked his glass against mine. "I knew you had it in you, my dear. I knew it all along." And as I took a sip of whiskey, the petticoats rustling with the movement, I realized with a thrilling jolt that he was absolutely right.